Welcome to A Drink of Wisdom with Nathan Drinker, and I'm Jay Wise. Thanks for spending some of your time with us. As a reminder to our listeners, we're on Anchor, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify. And if you're looking for us in the video format, you can find us at the A Drink of Wisdom YouTube channel. Lots to get into. Drink, what's going on with you?
Hey man, you know what it is, man. Another fruitful Friday. We back up in this thing, but you know what I gotta do. First and foremost, how everything with you and yours over there.
Oh, it's good, man. Yourself?
Can't complain. We about to give them what they need. Another day, another dollar. The streets waiting on us. We see what they don't, say what they want. Set your plates because it's time to eat. It might literally be time to eat too. And last but not least, let's talk some sports, baby. Let's roll, Jay.
All right, this is episode 6 of season 3, and the NBA cracks down on drawing fouls. The Bucks take on the Rams, and we look ahead to the Saturday slate in college football. We begin with Thursday night football from last night with the Carolina Panthers moving to 3-0, and the Houston Texans falling to 1-2. Carolina wins this one 24-9 on the strength of not only Sam Darnold's arm but his legs as well. He threw for just over 300 yards and ran for 2 touchdowns. The Carolina defense off to a blistering start. They only give up 193 yards to the Texans offense, which was led by the rookie quarterback Davis Mills playing for the injured Tyrod Taylor. Mills throws for 168, a touchdown. Didn't throw a pick, but he was sacked 4 times. Got no help from the ground game at all. Meanwhile, one more note for the Panthers. They did have some big injury news last night. Christian McCaffrey with a hamstring injury. He's going to miss at least a couple weeks. And they could have lost they may well have lost their first round cornerback from South Carolina, J.C. Horn, but we'll keep a watch on that one. Drink. Let's start here at 3-0. How about the Panthers? How big a threat are they, or how seriously should we take them as a contender thus far?
Well, hey, listen. One thing I would say this: I think we took them a lot more of a contender when they had a healthy Christian McCaffrey than they do now. So we're gonna spend these next 2 games looking to see when you bring in the backups. And listen, I know these guys. Chuba Herbert, he was the man at Oklahoma State. One of them dudes came in breaking all types of records. So we're gonna see, can he pick up that slack that Christian McCaffrey left behind. That's, to me, that's going to be make or break. I mean, hey, defense is, listen, this young defense seem to be the real deal, folks. I got it. If you want to say week 1 they played the Jets, I mean, it was Zach Wilson and whoever he throw the ball to. So we're going to throw that one out the window. Okay, fine. But you got to show some respect for what they did to the Saints. Like, let's keep it real. Yeah. They balled the Saints up, the same Saints that balled up the Packers in week 1. So you gotta show some respect for that. And if you want to tell me, hey, last night they played a rookie and possibly one of the most horrible teams in the whole NFL last night, they should have done that last night. And I would say I agree. They should have done that last night. But what would we have been saying this morning if they didn't do that last night? Hey, they came out here. Well, I don't know. They ain't no contenders, man. Hey, they couldn't. If you couldn't ball up a rookie and a makeshift offensive line and this running back core that was just so outstanding last night, and Brandon Cooks, just Brandon Cooks, like. I know Miller caught a touchdown, but let's keep it real. Look at them stats. Look at Aiken's stats. Like, they won world beaters. So all you had to really compete against was Brandon Cooks and the quarterback making a few plays. That was it, because you didn't have to worry about the run game. I can't even tell you who the other receivers are, et cetera, et cetera. So they should have done that last night. Even with that said, I think this team really got a good chance of being a contender. Now, like I said, I do caveat that with Christian McCaffrey. I think Christian McCaffrey, we didn't talk about this. He's definitely a top 3 back. A lot of people got him top 1. Whatever your opinion is as far as the running backs go in the NFL. But he is definitely one of the best dual threat running backs when it comes to running the ball and catching the ball. And I do think he was a big part of their offense. Why do I think that? Because the short time he was in the game, he had already carried the ball 7 times. And he had already got the ball through to him. I want to say it was like 4 targets. I thought. Okay, so no, it was 2 targets. All right, so 2 times. If you watch the game, you can see how involved they wanted McCaffrey in the game. He was very involved. Sam Darnold got to pick and choose when he threw the ball, and you know, I'm gonna get to his number 1 target as far as that go. But Christian McCaffrey is the guy that keep them on track, right? Now you don't have him to keep you on track. It's gonna be very interesting. I know they got Dallas, and then they got I want to say the next game is like a divisional game after that. It'll be very interesting to see what they do from here on without Christian McCaffrey. Now, the Texans, and I just got to say something about the Texans. I mean, they 24 points. I mean, you gotta kind of look at that defense and say it could be worse. Their defense could definitely be worse, especially for a team that has no aspirations to do anything. And did you hear what they said about the head coach last night on the broadcast? Do you know the first time that what his name David Cutley?
David Culley, yeah.
Culley, the first time he ever interviewed for any kind of coaching job was when he interviewed for the head coaching job of the Texans, and he got the job. Imagine that.
He never interviewed for any other position, like even as
no
an assistant?
Defense,
Oh,
no coordinator. Yeah, they was like no coordinator positions. No, he interviewed for this head coaching job and he got it. Unless I heard them wrong, that's what I thought I heard them say.
Assuming you heard that correctly, that's kind of impressive, don't you think?
Right. I was like, what? So I thought that was quite interesting. But, you know, for the sake of not wasting everybody's time, here's the deal. The Panthers defense did what they were supposed to do. Now, I did hear that the first round pick, J.C. Horn, he hurt his foot and he's possibly out for the rest of the season. And that's going to be a blow to the defense. But the way Matt Rule, and this was pure magic. And I don't want to take too much thunder on this because I know you had said something about this in the past. The way they scrapped that whole old defense, got rid of the old guys, got rid of everybody, and went and spent the whole draft on defense, Matt Rule might have just started a trend, man. He might have just started something here. I'm just telling you. He might have started something here. Because you can't tell me the rest. We know what the NFL is. It's a copycat league. So I guarantee you next season, we're going to get a team that did what Matt Rule did. Hey, our defense ain't good. Get rid of all these dudes. We just going to draft. We're going to go draft everybody. Brand new, fresh off the lot, new car smell. We want it all. And 1 year later, you got, a top 5 defense? Well, I think they're number 1 right now, but
They are. Yeah.
As the season go on, I would think that might fluctuate a little bit. But what? You went from 0 to hero in 1 year? I mean, it's something to be said about that strategy. So you got to give, Matt Rule his flowers for that, the GM his flowers, and then you know everything else that go along. But yeah, man, I think truth be told, it could have been a lot worse for the Texans. I mean, when you look at that final score, it's not pretty, but I thought it was going to be worse. I told you before we started recording, I thought this young man, David Mills, wasn't even going to be able to throw for 100 yards. I thought he was going to be like 89 yards passing, and but he put up 168. I mean, for a guy that got through in the fire like he did, I think he did about as best as he could. I ain't mad at that. But I think the Panthers was a far superior team in this game. They showed that. And, it is what it is. But, long story short, man, listen, the Panthers team, they have the makings to be a contender. Now I just want to see how they bounce back from the kid. Because I know Christian McCaffrey, they said he might be out, about 3 to 4 weeks. So I would like to see how they hold the fort down until he gets back. And I am concerned about the J.C. Horn injury, but the way that Matt Rule and the GM that put this team together, they might be okay. They might be able to weather that storm on the defense side of the ball because they're so good at all 3 levels. But yeah, man, I gotta say they're a contender at this point.
Yeah, I think we should take them seriously up to a point. I think it's way too early at this point to, put them alongside Tampa in that division. I think Tampa is clearly, they got to be looked at as the favorite until a team, shows otherwise that they can beat them.
You
But
know, hold on, but my bad, Jay. Before you get into the meat and potatoes, I just wanted to say cause like you just said, it is different levels of contenders. So, I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender, but I think they could be a player within the NFC. You know what I'm saying? Ruffle up some feathers. But like you said, they're not the Bucks. I don't even think they're the Rams. But let me clarify that a little bit.
yeah, and to that point, just to bounce back off that, I think they're a wild card team. I think that's about where they are. Could they maybe win a playoff game? Maybe they could with the right matchup. You do have to consider this is I think the Saints win last week was pretty eye opening. But do keep in mind your three quarterbacks you play so far are Zach Wilson, Jameis Winston, and now Davis Mills. So not an overly impressive group. But you do have to. I mean, you can't control who you play, so they've taken care of business. This defense is flying around, playing lights out. They're giving up about less than 200 yards a game so far, only 10 points a game. Both of those are first in the league. And when you look at this schedule, you mentioned it. You mentioned it a little bit earlier. They're going to go to Dallas, then they're going to come home and play Philly and Minnesota, and then they go back on the road to the Giants and the Falcons. There's a lot of winnable games there. I mean, there isn't one team on that in the next 5 weeks that you say, oh, they might be in trouble. Now, I'm not saying they win all those games, but I think at minimum, I mean, I mean, at worst, I feel like they, win 3 out of 5. So at worst, they're going to be 6-2, in the first 8 games. It's going to get a little bit tougher down the road. The last 3 games are going to be difficult. You're going to get last 4. Excuse me. You're going to go to Buffalo, then you're going to come back home for Tampa Bay, and then you finish up on the road against the Saints and Bucks. So that's going to be tough. But with a team like this, with a new quarterback, relatively young team, that's probably almost how you prefer it. Get these, get some of these are some tune-up games, particularly like you see the Falcons in a couple of weeks, like, oh yeah, I like that. Let's get them. So, but get Sam Darnold in there more comfortable in this Joe Brady offense. By that time, surely Christian McCaffrey will see him back. Hopefully, at most, he's only out a month, and he comes back strong. But you gotta like what they're doing. To the Texans side, I gotta say, like, if you said Houston would be 1-2 right now, you'd probably feel okay. I think their season has gone maybe about as well as it could. You come out week 1 and I think you surprised a lot of people just taking it to Jacksonville, who I'm not saying we thought Jacksonville was going to be great this year. I certainly did not. But I thought
they was going to be better than Houston though.
I did as well, and they got beat up pretty good, 37-21. Then you play Cleveland. Cleveland's they're a top contender in the AFC. You only lose by 10, and then it wasn't great last night, but I mean this is a rookie quarterback, first start. Pressed into duty with Tyrod Taylor being injured, and I gotta say I thought Davis Webb handled himself pretty well. I mean he didn't come out and embarrass himself. We're not doing the Nathan Peterman routine.
Who?
Davis Mills. Did I say Webb?
Yeah, you said Webb.
Who is that? I keep thinking Davis.
No. That was a real quarterback. Okay. That was a quarterback. Yeah.
Okay.
I think he did play for the Texans. Matter of fact, now that I think about it, but
just
yes,
so I'm clear, Davis Mills was the dude from last night, right?
Right.
Okay, I'm looking at the producer. Yeah. Anyway, Davis Mills. Yeah, I thought he played about as well as he could. He took care of the football. They were in the game. It's 7-6 at halftime. He does a little 2-minute drill thing. Him and Brandon Cooks, they had some nice things working. He didn't get no help from this running game, though. Let me tell you, and you know what? I'm going to add this up again just to make sure I'm right. Between Mark Ingram, David Johnson, and Phillip Lindsay, you got 15 carries for 37 yards. Now, I get it. Now, this offensive line probably isn't very good, and I get it. You're playing the Carolina Panthers. But, guys, could we help the quarterback any at all? These guys didn't. I mean, these are all 3 – now, I know David Johnson. We know he about as washed up as, anything. Cardinals, they still down there laughing about that trade. Mark Ingram, be he might need an oil change or something. We don't know. He's past his prime, maybe. I don't know. He looked smaller to me. I don't know what it is last night. Philip Lindsay, though, this guy who, like, what it is, third, fourth year, maybe, there should still be some good tread on those tires. And he out here averaging less than 1 yard per carry, getting tackled in the open field by rookie cornerbacks. I just don't understand it. That's not good enough. And it's gonna be hard to win another game. I mean, you will see Jacksonville a little bit later, but I will say, like, I thought Davis Mills. I'm not saying this is a guy who, oh yeah, give him the keys. They already trying to give Heineke up in Washington the keys after like 2 weeks. Like, that's the dude, man. Like, let's calm down. But I am saying you have a dude who, if nothing else, like, he can play in this league. You have a competent guy who, Tyrod Taylor comes back, and maybe Tyrod's your guy for the season. If he goes down again, I think Davis Mills showed you last night. He's a guy that can compete in this league and, not embarrass you. Obviously, you got to give the kids some more help. This Russian attack was just, anemic last night. And you got to have to be better if you're going to help out a rookie quarterback. One more note for the Panthers. I think probably the biggest thing I'd be concerned of, outside the injuries, they got to get Robbie Anderson going. It's a guy who, with Sam Darnold in New York, like, that was probably like maybe the best thing Sam Darnold had going was his chemistry with Robbie Anderson. They haven't done anything so far. And I know you have DJ Moore, and he's excellent. I like what I'm seeing from Terrace Marshall, the rookie from LSU. Him and Joe Brady know each other, I imagine. But I think you're missing out on, at minimum, a wide receiver number 2 that has proven in the past him and Sam Darnold can get some things done. So I think that's got to be a point of emphasis moving forward, especially with McCaffrey being down for a few weeks. There's going to be some extra targets to go around because I don't think you're going to – now, I do think from the running back position, I think Chuba Hubbard and Royce Freeman can hold it down for you in the ground game. I think where you're going to miss McCaffrey, you're going to miss him the most in the receiving game. So I think there – Sam Darnold, he's going to have, to throw the ball more outside the numbers, get his wideouts involved. But I also will say Sam Darnold, the numbers really don't blow you away. Like, I think he's only thrown for 3 touchdowns so far, but he's only thrown 1 pick through 3 games. And we know in New York, turnovers were a problem. You out there seeing ghosts or whatever it is. So I like what he's doing so far. Joe Brady seems to have, got him calmed down. He's getting settled in there. And I think Sam Darnold and these guys, I think better days are ahead. And once again, that schedule, they should be able to string quite a few wins together early.